Hello, hello, hello. How are you? This is Beema's Crafty Corner, and I'm Beema, better known as Els. And today, we're going to do something very simple. And that is that we are going to use exactly what we have to make ephemera. Okay? That being said, you need some stamp blocks, ink, dauber, paper trimmer. If you have punches, great. If you don't, that's all right. Any punch will do. What you really are worried about having are some stamps. And I like craft paper for this, okay? So let me move this out of the way. We're just going to jump right in. All right, so we're going to get out some stamps. Let's see. Those. Maybe some of these. We'll use those. Okay. So what you're looking for are stamps that match your style. And then we are going to block these up. See, I like that one. This one will work. And let's use this set. So let's see. Get one of the frames. And we'll just use the butterfly that's actually mounted inside the frame. It is not part of the frame, but we'll use it. Let's use this bee. I like the bee. Okay. Excuse me. So what I'm going to do is just put these onto a block. And okay, and then I'm going to stamp these onto my cardstock. Now you can use whatever kind of ink you want. You can use Distress, you can use Stays On, whatever it is you want. And I'm just going to stamp. Let me grab my rubber pad to put under here because I'm not getting the impression that I wanted. Much better. Okay. You could use different colors if you want. That is entirely up to you. But we're just going to stamp a bunch of these on here. And we're spacing them out pretty good. Okay. And I have my cleaner mat over here. Boy, there's a chip in that block. Okay. Now, if you want to use a stamp press, by all means do so, okay? Oops. And one more. A little bit more ink. All right, that's the stamping part. The next part is going to be cutting these out. Now you can cut them, you can punch them, it's entirely up to you. but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of cut these out. This is great for scrap paper. Let's see. I don't know if this will fit. We're going to try it. It does. Take a little bit of paper off the bottom. Put that in there. Center it. Punch that out. I'm just going to do it, you know, like one punched. The rest will do just regular, but one punch to each design. That one. And I don't really think we need a punch for this one. I think we're just going to cut it out. So we're going to cut these out, and then when you're done cutting them out, or punching them, or whatever it is you're going to do, come on back and we'll finish this. Alright, so now I have out a brown ink, and corner rounders, and I'm just going to round some corners here, or cut some corners, or whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to ink these. I'm going to ink them fairly heavy too. So, rounding all my corners. I think I want that one trimmed just a little more. It's a little bit wider. There we go. Alright, so rounding all corners. You don't have to round corners if you don't want to round corners. If you don't want to round them, don't round them. I'm going to use my ticket one for this. One of them I just cut out, and then I have the two shapes that we cut. Okay, so now that I have them all trimmed out and rounded and all that stuff, now I can go ahead and just, you know, ink like a mad woman. So I'm just going to ink these, and I'm inking them fairly heavy. Okay, right over the ink that I stamped them with. It doesn't matter. Idea is to just really kind of give them a heavy coat on the outside edge. And I'm going to get all these inked. And then once I have them all inked, then I'm going to come back. So go ink, and I'll be right back. So these are now inked. And you could just put them away like this. I used a pair of pinking shears on these just to give it an edge. These two are rounded. That's a punch. This one I fussy cut out, and I have this other punch. And I thought, you know, this might look cool on there. I don't know. But here's what we got. See this? This is literally a scrap bin. Okay? This is not a faux scrap bin where I have like big chunks of paper. No. This is ends off pages that I've cut to put into books, pages that are torn, little bits and pieces of stuff. Okay, I love keeping these because these little bits and pieces of stuff can actually work to make really nice ephemera. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, this is something somebody sent me. I'm going to take a piece of this. And I'm just going to tear that off. And I'm going to ink this piece. Looks like I tore it with a tearing ruler at some point. We're just going to put this down. I'm going to use tape because it's quick and easy. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it is quick and easy, so we'll use tape. Now I have a little piece of ephemera. Okay, let's get some tags. Here's a couple. These are just plain tags. You know, we made these a while ago in the alternative hardware video. But if you look at these, we could find a piece of scrap in here that matches something that looks good, you know? Let me see. Something for my bumblebee. And there's some plain tea-dyed paper. That's always good. What else? Ooh, there's a flower. Okay, let's do this. Let's go ahead and cut a strip of this. Well, tear a strip of this. Put some ink on there. I don't know if I'm going to use it, but I like the idea of it. Okay. On there. This little piece. Let's go ahead and glue this on. Tape it down. Adhere it. I'm going to adhere this piece. And then we'll add this one. And we have a cute little tag, and it's just scraps. Now we have these two pieces of scrap left. Let's do this one. I don't need anything in the background, watch. We're going to use the back of this one as the base. Okay. There we go. So you can see that you can take these and you can add them in any way that you want. grab a tearing cleaner here. And I don't even need to be able to see what this paper is. That's the beauty of this, okay? It can just be a tiny little scrap. It could be a piece of newspaper. If you've got newspaper, use newspaper. If you have some old wrapping paper, use old wrapping paper. Use advertisements, you know? Book page. A book page is a great thing to use. If you have an old book that's kind of torn up and it's going to go in the garbage, just tear it apart and do this with it instead, you know? Although I think this one needs little rounded corners. There we go. So there we go. We've used just scraps, a piece of paper, some stamps, and ink, and created ephemera. Okay? That's it. That's my quick video for today. If you would like another way to do this, I'll show you some other ways, and there's plenty of other videos. Just look in the ephemera playlist. Until I see you again, make sure that you check out the community tab here on the YouTube channel. Go on over to the Facebook group, check that out as well. Both of those have a list that tell you exactly what's going on in my digital world. They'll also let you know if I'm traveling, when I'm traveling, if I'm sponsoring any sales or anything like that. It's all in there. And what else? Check out my Patreon or go by my Ko-Fi and pick up some free digitals. Until I see you again, stay well, my friends. Bye-bye.